different communities of interest involved therein. We would also hope that as you put together your legislative districts, that you would make sure you don't split cities, towns, and counties. We would also urge you to make sure you have districts where minorities can have some influence in the selection and election of persons to represent them. We, of course, look forward to being able to aid and assist you any way we can within the NAACP. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Gee. We appreciate you being here. Our next speaker is Molly McClennan. Did I get that right? I'm on a roll. Thank you.
I'm Molly McClennan from Lynchburg, Virginia. First, thank you for serving on this very first ever redistricting commission, for making the process much more transparent, for holding this public hearing, and for allowing us all to speak. Thank you. Please make Lynchburg whole again, not divided into 4 parts. All of Lynchburg in one House district, all of Lynchburg in one Senate district. Back in 2008, Lynchburg City Council, city leaders, and businesses sponsored a series of community dialogues. Small, intentionally diverse groups of people who came from the whole city met for 6 weeks and formed actions groups. Several of these groups are still active today. The effect on the whole city was profound. For example, Beacon of Hope was legally incorporated in 2011 to increase the number of Lynchburg City students who graduate and go on to complete some form of post-secondary education, technical certification, college, or military service. This is done through last-mile scholarships, centers in both high schools, and programs in the middle and elementary schools. Since 2019, Stay Close, Go Far, Promise scholarships are providing all city high school graduates a chance to attend local colleges or accredited technical college programs for free. It is funded by Beacon of Hope and 6 local institutions. It helps our youth, our businesses, our economy. It helps the whole city, and was founded with the idea of serving the whole city. I would like to speak on a more personal note. People ask, what is my neighborhood? Lynchburg has many short streets and long connectors, so I never know quite how to answer. Where are my friends? From all parts of the city, all zip codes. I've registered voters, encouraged actual voting, prepared information to help people figure out who will be on their ballot, who they will vote for. I brought copies prepared by the League of Women Voters of Lynchburg in 2019 to give to you. I am speaking to you today as an individual, however. Lynchburg's 2 delegates and 2 senators and their staff also spend time and energy and patience sorting out who was a constituent and who was a friend. I know because when I talk to a legislature, the first question is, where do you live? Then we discuss how they serve constituents, not the whole city. This is a lot of wasted time and energy on everybody's part. Please make Lynchburg whole again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McClennan. Good ringer there, Jose.
I'm sorry, you weren't talking to me, were you?
I was. The 3 minutes is up.
And I'm finished.
Oh, okay. All right. That's perfect. You did a great job. Thank you so much. All right. And let's see. Our next speaker is Helen Wheelock. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you for allowing us to speak. So I'm Helen Wheelock from Lynchburg also. And what I'd like to just say is that since 2011, Lynchburg has been split into 4 different voting blocks. And we were told that that would be better for us because now we'd have more legislators working. But however, the reality is that 4 blocks just create confusion and feel like it dilutes our vote. And my message is really simple. Put the city of Lynchburg back together. We are a community of interest. We have one city government, one school system, one hospital system, one river, the James, one transportation system, and a host of other things that we do as a city. Ms. McClellan talked about some of the things we've done as a city, so I'll skip that part. But I do want to let you know I appreciate the work that the Commission's doing for fair redistricting. And it's really exciting to see the process out in the open, and it's great to have our voices heard. And I do realize the fact that recognizing communities of interest may impact some of our legislators' districts. And I thank you for putting in the work and making the hard decisions for fair redistricting. And I hope the Commission will start with a clean, empty map and consider hiring professional map makers. And once again, please put Lynchburg back together. We are a community of interest. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. Our next speaker is Neil Summerlin. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having us. I'm Neil Summerlin. I'm a 45-year resident of the city of Lynchburg. I'm here to urge the commissioners to restore Lynchburg to the single legislative districts in which it was found before 2011. Our city is a single community of interest. It's currently split between 2 House of Delegates districts and 2 Senate districts. Because of the unusual way that Virginia allows totally separate jurisdictions for independent cities and the counties that surround them, the interests and concerns of Lynchburg and its contiguous counties diverge more often than they align. The argument is sometimes made that having 4 legislators in Richmond and not just 2 gives Lynchburg extra clout, but that doesn't really hold up when you look at the numbers. In House District 22, for example, Lynchburg citizens comprise 25% of the district's total population. Using the latest census figures, in a House district that included all of Lynchburg, our citizens would make up 96% of that district's constituents. The elected representative would, of necessity, represent those constituents more strongly. Senate districts are, of course, larger, but in Senate District 23, Lynchburg represents 17% of the total population. Putting our city in a single district would bump that figure up to more than 38%. Again, increasing our influence and more closely reflecting our interests in Richmond. The current map is a historical anomaly. I joined my friends here from Lynchburg, and I'm a retired teacher, so repetition never hurts, in asking that you begin this process from scratch and restore Lynchburg as a single community of interest. I thank you for your attention, and I thank all of you for your service to our Commonwealth.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Our next speaker is Jack Underwood. Good evening.
Good evening. Madam Chairperson and gentlemen of the committee, my name is Jack Underwood. I live in Precinct 404 of Lynchburg City. The City of Lynchburg is a community of interest as defined by Virginia Statute 24.2. The law states a community of interest means a neighborhood or a geographically defined group of people living in an area who share similar social, cultural, and economic interest. Lynchburg is clearly a community of interest. Of course, we share the same government entities. We have schools, roads, bridges, things like that under city government. But most important, we have a long social and cultural history that goes back 235 years. We share strong economic interest also. When Precinct 301 suffers a loss, we all suffer a loss in Lynchburg. When Precinct 203 does well, we all do well. We are a tight-knit committee a community that succeeds or fails together. But the current division harms us and belies the damage to our community. The current division of Lynchburg diminishes our community interest in several ways, but I will address just one of these, and that's confusion. Confusion that breeds apathy, if not dislike, of our state legislative process. I've canvassed many neighborhoods in the Lynchburg community. How many times have I heard this? Well, I thought my state delegate was Kathy Byron, but my neighbor down the street says it's Wendell Walker. Now, they're both right, but they're both confused. I live on Ivy Creek. I can throw a stone across my creek over to my neighbors across the creek. My senator is the fine Steve Newman, Senator Newman. His senator is Mark Peake. Now, many urban black people in Lynchburg in Ward 2 are part of District 22. And that district snakes from Lynchburg through part of Campbell County, through Bedford County, and ends up over in Franklin County. Now, the social, cultural, economic connections between urban African Americans in Lynchburg and the rural rights in 3 counties away in Franklin are tenuous at best and possibly non-existent. Few understand which campaigns to support. Confusion breeds apathy and frustration with the political process. But if Lynchburg had one delegate and one senator to petition, things become clear. People would know who to hold accountable. People would know who they need to support. Please treat Lynchburg as a community of interest.
Thank you so much, Mr. Underwood. And I'm looking at staff. Do we have any more sign up? Okay. Okay. What? I'm sorry? Okay. All right. So I believe that our last speaker may be Nicole Sanders. Sanders. Okay. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you. And I want to echo all of my colleagues in extending my gratitude to the Commission for putting in this hard work. It's really exciting for all of us, and for me in particular, to be able to participate in this redistricting process. So thank you so much. I'm also here talking about Lynchburg and asking you all to consider it as a community of interest. I'm a professor of history at the University of Lynchburg, so I hope you'll indulge me for a moment and give a little history lesson, just to show that Lynchburg does have a shared history. As Mr. Underwood pointed out, 253 years of shared history. Lynchburg was established by John Lynch in 1757. He created a ferry service on the James. In 1786, the town was officially established as Lynchburg. And by 1798, we had a series of warehouses, taverns, homes, and the first newspaper was established, which I should add, we still have the News in Advance. It wasn't the News in Advance back then, but we've had one community newspaper, the Lynchburg paper, since 1798. In the early 19th century, it served as a center for tobacco and for railroads. It got its full status as a city in 1852. And it's always been an important urban center for the region. And I want to emphasize the fact that it has been an urban center for a rural region. And that center, that its nature as a city is very important to our understanding of it as a community of interest. We have a battle. The Battle of Lynchburg took place during the Civil War. I serve on the Historic Sandusky Board, and I know more about the Battle of Lynchburg than probably anybody wants to, but so we do have a battle that took place in Lynchburg during the Civil War. During World War I, railroads came through with troops, and the Red Cross served lunch, giving Lynchburg the nickname of Lunchburg. So, Lunchbox, excuse me, not Lynchburg. At the turn of the century, we also had Sweetbriar College, founded, Randolph-Macon Women's College, which is now Randolph College, Lynchburg College, which is now the University of Lynchburg, And now we have 5 universities. So those 3 that I spoke of, and then we also have Liberty University and CVCC, the community college. So what I want to emphasize with this story is that we do have this common history. Lynchburg has been a city since 1798. It has been a center for the region, and it has its own identity. It has, as everybody else mentioned, its own school system, its own hospital system, its own parks and rec system, city services, et cetera. And so we urge you in Lynchburg to continue to consider Lynchburg as a community of interest while you're redrawing the map. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments and the history lesson. We appreciate it. Yeah. And so I'm just looking in the back at staff again. No individuals? Okay. All right. Well, I think that is it. We've been able to hear from all interested parties. We want to, on behalf of the commission, just say thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and share with us tonight. We're super excited about this new process in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and are just honored to be able to serve our state in this manner, to lift up democracy in the most fair and just way that we can. Also, on behalf of the commission, we just want to thank the leadership of Longwood University. I see the president back there, and just say thank you so much for letting us use your wonderful facility here. And for those of you out virtually looking on, we just encourage citizens from across the Commonwealth to participate. We have 7 more meetings, a mixture of virtual and in person, over the next 3 weeks, I believe. And we want to hear from you. So we appreciate your time, your interest, and I'll just look to say, okay, Senator Newman.
I was just going to mention, great job. A natural chairman she is, isn't she? And great to have you. But also indicate that George Barker came. George is the smartest member of the Virginia Senate, and you should know that we all do whatever George says. So if you are interested in things, talk to George. So George, welcome to our part of Virginia.
And Senator Barker, would you just like to maybe speak loudly, since you may not have the mic on, and just introduce yourself to the audience?
Sorry about that. I'm George Barker, state senator, serving part of Northern Virginia, parts of Alexandria, Fairfax, and Prince William counties, and have worked on a lot of some of these things before, and so have some experience dealing with it. And I am determined that we are going to get to a resolution that everybody will be comfortable with. And I think that's the way this was set up with the constitutional amendment, and that we have been implementing it thus far, and I think everybody has come to it with the proper approach to it. We're not trying to score points and provide some advantage for some different part of the state or some political party or those types of things, but to be a responsive, responsible organization, commission that is going to provide the best and fairest maps that we can for the people of Virginia and for everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Barker. I don't know if you got caught up on I-95 here, but we share information and we're committed to being transparent. And so when one of us learns something, we're sharing it with everyone else. And I am extremely appreciative of the values and the approach that all of the commissioners are bringing to this important body of work as we collaborate to get to great maps in just a few months. So with that, I think we're going to adjourn our public hearing for tonight, but encourage you to come to other meetings, as many as you would like. Thank you so much and have a great evening.